Jay, the Esthering Queen, and you are watching White Wall Review. You are watching the White Wall Review. Bridgerton is what we're going to be talking about. Bridgerton Season 4, Part 1. I binge watched all 4 episodes, so I am ready to talk about it today. Right off the top of my head, so bear with me and we're getting ready to talk about it. So it comes on and everything is just what we want. It's doing the Bridgerton thing. Shonda is bringing us into our world. And when she does, she brings us right into the Bridgerton home and everybody is scurrying and cleaning up and taking off the furniture covers and bringing in all the good food to eat and placing it on tables and flowers are being placed. It is time for the Bridgerton to have a ball and they are giving a masquerade ball. The same masquerade ball they alluded to, well, they didn't allude to, they straight up mentioned in season 3 that the Francesca, the daughter Francesca that married John, that took her wherever he lived at. I don't know if it was Poland or wherever it was, Ireland. I don't know where it was, but it was far from London. And the mother was concerned, like, oh, you're going to be so far away from me. She was like, I'll come back for the ball, okay? Because the ball's a big, to do is a big shindig. So, sure enough, it comes on season 4. The ball is about to be happening, okay? Everybody's getting ready for the ball. Okay, it comes on with also the mother is looking for Benedict, the second son, because there's Anthony who married the Indian girl, and then there's Benedict, and then there's Colin, I believe. Yeah, so there's Anthony, Benedict, Colin, and then that's the younger young man, the youngest of them all. Okay, we leave enough room for all the stories. Okay, so yeah, so the youngest, who is, I believe, Gregory. Anyway, it comes on, and the mother, they're in the Bridgerton home, and she's looking around at things, and then she's saying, "Where is Benedict?" She don't even say it. She just goes. She did ask somebody, and they're like, and she says, call the stagecoach. Get the stagecoach, bring it around. She about to go find him, right? That's what it seems. So she hops in the stagecoach. They don't show that. She just shows up at the place, at his residence where he is. And guess what? He is in his room, in this place where he lives at. He's in his room, right? One of the other cottages or homes on their property. He's in the room, bottom line. Even not on the property. He's in the room, and there's 2 other women in there, one in the bed, one on the side. When she walks in the door, she busts in the door, because they tried to stop her. Boy, she busts in the door to, like, put him in check. That's what's happening. He got one woman in the bed, one woman on the side. That's who she pulls the cover off of him, and of course, they show his naked backside. I don't know why they think we all need to see all this, because there's a lot of naked backsides in this part 1, season 4. Probably was a lot of naked backsides in part 3, 2, and 1 too, but these naked backsides. Anyway, she tells him a thing or two, and he, got to get himself together, and he gets to where he wants her to be at the house. At the house. Next thing I know, they're focusing on a new girl on the show who I never seen before, but, they're kind of like, getting us cued in for her. Getting us cued in for this new girl. So there's a new girl, and she's talking to her maid. She's a maid, and she's talking to her maid. And then there's somebody who's like a waiter in the house that she lives in, that they are residing in, and they have figured out something, because about this ball, they have figured out how she gonna get to go to the ball. and they're going back and forth with it. And she was like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should. How will I? Will how will I go? And you should go. You should go. You should go." They gets her together. They said, "Don't you worry about it. We got it. You want to go. That's all you want to do is be in the room." She wasn't going there to like get with anybody. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't going there like really as a debutante, but because she's debutante age, she can roll up in there. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to her. Right? And plus, it's a masquerade ball, so nobody's gonna go, "Hi, I'm Adrian B. Jackson, ABJ, the Esthering Queen." And yeah, you caught me in the middle of doing this Bridgerton season 4 review. So I'm still here. So anyway, they go to doing about what they got to do. We're going to get you this. We're going to get you that. We know what shoes to get you. They got her outfit. They got her outfit for this girl, this maid who otherwise would not be able to go to the ball. Okay? So right away to me, ding, 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 ding. I'm thinking, and it does kind of like unravel to be a Cinderella effect. So that's spoiler alert. I think that's a spoiler alert. So it kind of runs up to be like a Cinderella effect with this young lady, and let's just jump to it. She's pretty much going to be with Benedict, right? Okay, so that's the spoiler alert, I guess, because you have not still heard all the story. But the bottom line is this young lady is somehow being raised like a Cinderella girl because she's got a stepmother, 2 stepsisters, and she's the maid in the house doing everything, okay? And they do throughout the story, piece by piece, Shonda ties you into how, you know, the young girl gets with the stepmother, how and when, not necessarily how and when, but when the father dies and now she's left with the stepmother, and so she's the maid, and now she's about, I don't know what age she is, this debutante age, but she's debutante age. She's always had questions, but they always kind of knocked her back down whenever she had questions. So she was going with it. She was going with it, but she was going to have her heyday. She was down for having her heyday with this ball. She wasn't that scared of them because of that. And then they do flashbacks to when her daddy was alive, and when her daddy first kind of like had the mother come, and the mother and the sister, they do a flashback. So when the mothers and the sisters come and visit, when the mother and the sister finally come to visit or come to occupy the home that they're going to occupy with the man, with the man she married, which was these ladies, the ladies and the lady and her 2 daughters, who I said they kind of doing this Cinderella thing, right? They're Asians. So it's the lady, her 2 daughters, and the other young lady who is playing that Cinderella role, who's gonna live out this Cinderella role. Okay, and she doesn't live it all out. She doesn't live this whole Cinderella role all out just yet. Not this part 1. I'm gonna tell you that. Spoiler alert, right? She's not gonna. But we already know. We already gonna be waiting until February 26th. That's when they say part 2 comes out. We're gonna be waiting for February 26th, part 2, because I need to see it all played out. I do. I just need to see it all played out. I'm here for it, all of it. It was great now. It was great. It was absolutely great. The whole 4 episodes. I told you I binge watched it. And it's late now, but when I get ready to go to bed, I'm going to turn it on at season 4. I'm going to probably just turn it on episode 2 and go from there, because I have seen episode 1 and I don't want it to hold me back or make me any more tired than I need to be. Okay, so what else you need to know about what's going on in season 4 is, so I told you there's a young lady playing the Cinderella role. Then there's Benedict, who needs to take a wife because Anthony has a wife in the Bridgerton family. Anthony has a wife. Colin has a wife. Who else? Oh, and the daughter got married, right? I think the daughter's name was Daphne. Daphne got married to the Duke. Okay, so you had Daphne married the Duke, Daphne married a black guy, Colin married Penelope, and then And Anthony married an Indian girl, right? Okay, so all this diversity is what they're doing. Hence, now we have some Asians coming to the scene, getting in the mix, okay? Now we got some Asians getting in the mix. At least in this season, these last, I would have to think real hard to think way back to see if I can remember what went on from the very beginning, like season 1, 2, 3, and how diverse that was, even though I know it was diverse. I'm just talking about as those mixtures came in. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So Benedict, he's opposed. Benedict is opposed to marriage, really. He thinks that he's not that guy. He thinks that he can't live up to actually the Bridgerton name or really whatever. That's why he has just, like, I'm just a rake, as his mother calls him, because he's just sleeping around with women. Benedict even sleeps with men. He's sleeping with women and men. That girlfriend that he had turned him out. That girlfriend that he had turned him out, and so he's open for whatever. So he's always at that little brothel-like spot, living his best life. His best life. Okay. We assume. So Benedict does wrestle up himself and shows up to the masquerade ball after the mother pretty much pulls him out of bed. Right? So he gets to the masquerade ball, and all the women, of course, because he's the most popular, you know, eligible bachelor. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants him. And once he's gotten, then they'll go and get whoever else is left. But he's the one, he's the prize. So Benedict is pretty much just trying to make his way around the ball and steer clear of women, even though his mother at first tells him, you better go over there and you better talk to them women over there in the corner. So Benedict does that. Not the women in a huddle, waiting to get him. And she tells him to go do it, and he does. So anyway, but he gets out of there, out of that entanglement as soon as he can. He's just trying to walk around the ballroom, and then, okay, I'm just trying to fast forward to some things, right? So we can get to the get with. And then he sees a young girl, kind of dressed all in white, silver it is, and then she has that big, beautiful white silver like mask on that we see in all the previews that was leading up to Bridgerton's coming, Bridgerton season 4 is coming. It was her. He sees her, and she's looking up at a beautiful chandelier that they have inside of the ballroom, and she's just adoring that because she's not there for her name is Sophie. Sophie is not there, the Asian girl. Sophie is not there to meet him, to meet a mate. She's just glad to be in the building. Okay? Because she got on a stolen dress, stolen shoes, stolen mask. But the dress, okay, not the shoes, but the dress was up in the attic, and that was in the attic like something her mother had. Okay, what was up in the attic, unless I know it was something her mother had, because the lady, her stepmother did see her at the ball at a glance, and she made sure, she didn't look her in the face, long at all. She made sure she didn't look her in the face long at all, trying not to see her. But then she does have the mask on. So the mother seen her, but she didn't pay her no, attention. But the mother was very like, oh, who's that? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when Benedict, Bridgerton, in the ballroom running from the girls, see her looking up, he's a little like, okay, who's that? That's not bugging or looking for me, or, you know what I mean? She's not like that concerned about nobody else in the place but herself, because she's there by herself. Okay. And I want to just throw this back in there because I forgot this. When they drop her off, they make sure they tell her. When they drop her off, they make sure they tell her. That's why it's like a Cinderella story. They make sure they tell her, don't forget to leave before 12 o'clock, because it's a masquerade ball, and at 12 o'clock, everybody has to reveal themselves, or you can stop wearing your mask at 12 o'clock. So if you're talking to somebody who you really don't know who it is, and you standing in front of them before 12 o'clock, you're going to get to see. You're going to get to see. So somehow, and I can't remember exactly how, but when he walks up to her glancing at the chandelier, he takes her, and excuse me for all this nose situations going on. He uses her like to get away from the crowd, like welcome me over here. Okay. So they kind of like walk away, walk outside. And so that's when he begins to ask her a lot of questions like, so who are you and what's your name? And she said, well, it's a masquerade ball. I'm not going to tell you. And so she skips around all the questions. But then somehow I remember, because remember, I just watched it last night and I was tired last night. Sometimes I remember he did remove her glove. I tell you, it's got to fold into the Cinderella story, right? So he did remove her glove. It's not the glass slipper, but he removed her glove and kissed her, you know, kissed her palm, right below, right, her wrist, like right there, right? So he kissed right there. And she was still talking to him because they was still not liking each other. And then she realized, it got 12 o'clock quick. Okay. So Benedict was like, oh, because she was like, what's that sound? And so Benedict was like, it's 12 o'clock. So now you can show me who you are. Because he was flirting with her. She was kind of flirting back. Nobody knows who you are. Right. And so 12 o'clock, when she heard 12 o'clock, the homegirl said, I got to go. He was like, no, but I'm trying to. She was out of there, okay? Of course, and left him with the glove in his hand. So he did have some piece of her. And as you can now guess, the glove became the thing that now the whole town was going to be looking for, because this is the girl that he finally, okay, is taking a liking to, and he told his mother that, and the mother was like, oh, you like her? Okay, we about to get you married. Okay, the mother was like, we are going to find her. Okay, we're going to find her, because he didn't get a name. All he had was a glove. All he had was a glove. And initially, he didn't even tell the mother about the glove. But she found out about the glove, and eventually when he was not successful in just finding her, or her just coming back to him, he did show the mother the glove, and she looked inside and she seen like there was, their own like insignia, their own little crest inside the glove, whoever owned this glove. And so they were gonna go with that, but then they didn't know who those people were when they figured it out anyway. So that really wasn't the thing that led them to the girl. Okay. So now, though, while this search is going on for the girl, remember there's a stepmother. And she remember when she seen the girl, when she seen her stepdaughter at the ball, she didn't know who she was, but she remember seeing her girl, because when she passed by her, that's when she seen her, and she looked up, but she kept going. She passed by her, but Sophia passed by her stepmother, but Sophie. I think her name is Sophie. I don't think it's Sophia. Sophie passed by her stepmother without the glove on, and that's something, I guess, in their world they would notice, right? I don't know if I would notice it so much, because everybody, but for them, all of them are wearing the gloves all the way up. So, yeah, I guess you can notice. So anyway, flashback in the stepmother's mind when the Benedict does somehow even get to their house. Like somehow they're knocking these people down. Like it's not this household, it's not that household, because he's still looking for the girl. Okay, he's now, trust me, all other things are going on, because Shonda is not just sticking to one little person's story. She's still going on everywhere. Okay, and I'm gonna get to that. Okay, you want me to get off of that? I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off of the girl. I'm gonna get off Benedict being on the chase for the glove, and now we're gonna go to something else. Okay, so we're gonna go to, because we got a lot of people, all these different main characters in the story. Okay, which I like. I like when they do that. I like when anybody got more than everybody, lots of main characters. So they playing main character role. They got main character energy. Okay, somebody told me that once. But anyway, let's go to Lady Danbury. So Lady Danbury, she's the queen's right-hand girl. They friends, all that. We already know that. You see them playing chess. She confides in her. She can come to her. She can go to the queen. Lady Danbury can go to the queen sometime and help her make a decision that she otherwise would have made another way. Lady Danbury be like, but what about this? And how that's going to affect the people. And wouldn't you rather see this, that, or the other? So Lady Danbury and the queen are friends. You got that. Lady Danbury now has something she wants to do, someplace she wants to go, and she's like, Queen, you know what? I've been here supporting you all this time, and I think I need a little break. That's what Lady Danbury tells the queen. I just think I need a little break, and the queen is like, that's not gonna happen. The queen is like, that's not gonna happen. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry your little nerves, cause no. And she is adamant about it. And Lady Danbury's like, wait a minute. I'm telling you that I want to go and do this, and you're telling me what? You're telling me that I shouldn't? You're telling me that I can't? So, and the queen is like, yeah, I'm telling you, you can't. She said, the queen is like, I'm your queen. And she says, I thought I was your friend. That's what Lady Danbury said. I thought I was your friend. She said, you are my subject. And she said, and so Lady Danbury's like, okay, I'm your subject. I got you. I got it now, Queen. And so there's a little rift between them going on while Lady Danbury's trying to figure out her situation, but Lady Danbury ain't sleeping on it. She's working on that. Now we're gonna go, we're gonna Shonda. Okay? We're gonna Shonda, and we're gonna go to the next thing going on in these episodes. Okay, the next thing's going on in this episode. This is real quick. Let me just get that out the way. Talk about Eloise. Okay, let's talk about Eloise. Everybody know Eloise? Eloise is the Bridgerton daughter that don't want no part of that life. Okay? She don't understand it. She wants to have her own mind. She wants to have her own intellect. She wants to travel. What Eloise don't want, Eloise does not wish to follow the Bridgerton social life schedule. You know, but she's in society, right? She's in society, and she doesn't want really to be. She feels like, I didn't choose this. She's one of them. I didn't choose this. I don't want it. She's opposed to it. So Eloise is saying to the world that I put myself on a shelf. She's in the same state that she always was. And Eloise didn't want to get married all this time, and she still doesn't. So that's Eloise. Okay, that's Eloise. So we talked about the little Cinderella girl coming into the picture with Benedict, and we talked about Lady Danbury with the queen. Let's talk about Francesca and her husband. This is spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You seen the title when you came on the live. But I'm Adrian B. Jackson, ABJ, the Esthering Queen, and I'm going to give it to you. Okay, because I seen it last night. I stayed up all night long watching it. Well, I did go to sleep. I did doze off, but when I got back up, I turned it right back on. Okay? And then I watched it again this morning, all of it. I watched it all. I binged it. Well, actually, like early in the morning. So anyway, like I said, we talked about the Cinderella situation going on. That's what they have brought into this season 4. And we talked about, I was on Francesca. Let's get back to Francesca. I didn't get into it. I'm here. Okay? So Francesca, and let me refresh your memory in case you just don't know the name when I say Francesca, because I'm a Bridgerton girl. Okay? So I don't know if you are into Bridgerton like I am, but Francesca is the sister, okay, of Daphne, who married the black guy. Okay, the black guy that took her away after they got married, he went away, and she was glad to go away too, because she was trying to go away from all that noise. She liked peace and quiet. He liked peace and quiet. They was like a perfect match in that aspect. And so Francesca and her husband, though they loved each other, they got married. That was it wasn't really like a hard love match, but they fit each other. They thought they was gonna make it, right? So Francesca and her husband, there's a scene where, he's kissing on her and all that in the bed. You think it appears that they have had relations, and then he rolls over, but you can't help but notice. I thought I had something on my teeth. You can't help but notice that he rolls over like in his clothes, in his underwear. Okay, they showing everybody else's backside. They ain't show his. I'm thinking, no, they did not. They did not show his. He has you know, underwear on, and and then you notice that Francesca is like, her same, kind of reclusive self, even with being in bed with her husband. And, she happy. I mean, they was kissing or whatever. But that was that. It wasn't no real live shindig going on. Right? So Francesca somehow finds out that that they're supposed to be a pinnacle that she's supposed to reach when they're lying in bed and doing all that kind of stuff. And so she's trying to figure out what is up with this pinnacle that I'm supposed to reach, feel, that's supposed to come over me. I'm not having that with my husband, and she wants it. So she mentions it to Penelope, right? You know who Penelope is. Penelope's Colin's wife, okay? She married into the Bridgertons from the Featheringtons. Okay, you got my drift, okay? Season 4, Bridgerton. You can watch it. You can watch them all, okay? But I have watched them all, and I binged season 4, part 1. Season 4, part 1, because the other part's going to come on February 26th. So, yeah, so she don't know what the pinnacle is. She don't know nothing about. And I'm thinking, there ain't no sex? Because they've been away for all this time? That's what's crazy, okay? They all this time they ain't had no sex. Something's deeper there. Something's deeper there, because she goes, her sister tells her what she should be feeling. Her mother kind of tells her what should be going on. And so now she know. Now Francesca is knowing what's supposed to be happening. Penelope tells her that she'll enjoy it, and you'll be, hollering and screaming, and it'll be so good, and da. So she said, yeah, I'm gonna reach this pinnacle also. That's what Francesca says, right? So then when they show the next time that Francesca and her husband in bed, Francesca is kind of oohing and ahhing, and and I'm thinking, okay, girl, they finally got that behind them, But he still has his underwear on when he rolls over, and I'm thinking, I'm watching, okay, I'm watching, and I see that, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? So, and then plus he says, John, her husband, Francesca's husband, right? He says, now, Francesca, did you really feel all that you were doing? And Francesca says, no, but she was trying to get it together, trying to bring it on. And he lets her know, honey, don't worry about it. When we get there, we get there. When we get there, we're going to be there. It's coming, okay? So there you go with that. Let's tie a knot in that, because we don't address that no more in part 1 of season 4. That's all there is with them. Okay, now Shonda, she gets it to you and gets it at you in bits and chops, right? Keeps you interested, because you keep rolling from this to that, and this to that, and this to that, and you're very entertained as you are watching it, okay? You are, okay? It was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'm going to watch it again. I like it. Oh, I like the sound. I'm intrigued by the Bridgertons. Okay. By Bridgerton. That's the name of the show. Okay, so who else can we get with? Who else can I tell you about? Okay, I told you about the Queen and Lady Danbury. I told you about Francesca and her husband. I told you about Eloise being Eloise. Let me talk about Penelope. Okay, so Penelope is whistled down. Penelope is whistled down. We all found out that was revealed at the end of season 3, right? That Penelope is whistled down. But Penelope is acting, I think she's a little different now. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, she's a mother. She has her baby even. She has her baby. Her and Colin has the baby. But with this whistle down thing, it's just not the same. And the Queen is driving her crazy. The Queen now wants to know what she thinking before she write it, give her a little spiel. The Queen is making this not as fun as it was when she was whistled down and nobody knew. Okay, when she was Miss Whistledown, Lady Whistledown, and nobody knew, the little report, the little news that she puts out and prints was like all so more interesting because nobody knew who it was. So now she writes about things and everybody knows who's writing it. Okay? It's just that maybe you didn't know what was going on. It's like if you was the news reporter and now we know who you are. So we know what not to do in front of you because you about to tell it. So that's where Penelope is right now, period. Okay? But the queen is kind of getting on her nerve with all that. The queen is getting on her nerve with all that wanting to know and being in her business and like almost telling her when to write, what to write. Not what to write, but she wants to hear it all. Okay, so that's what's going on with the queen and Penelope. Oh, I got somebody else. So I done told you about the Cinderella thing going on with Benedict and the new girl that's in the story. I told you about Eloise. I told you about Francesca. I told you about Penelope. Now let's go. I'm going to tell you about Lady Bridgerton, Lady Violet, okay? Bridgerton, the mother. Okay, so we all know that Lady Danbury's brother, the handsome black guy, okay, because he fine. He um he likes Lady Violet. He likes Lady Violet Bridgerton, right? So, he there for her. Okay, so he be popping up, showing up all around the place, and she just be happy that he coming. She be hot and flustered, like, oh my goodness gracious, you know what I mean? Trying to take it easy, but she has managed. Go on, Violet. Violet has managed to, not rush, but so much. Not rush, but so much. He does know that she likes him, and she does know that he does know that she's gonna take time for him. So Violet and him, they a thing now. They a thing within themselves. Nobody really knows except Lady Danbury because she didn't want her brother messing with her friend. Period. Because they had an issue that they resolved in season 3. So now they cool, and Mother Bridgerton is she trying to be with this dude? Okay, she's trying to be with this dude, but they have not had time to be together. And then when are they gonna be together? When there's always people in the house, right? So it's come to that. It's come to that where the Mother Bridgerton, Lady Violet, she's like, you know what? I'm so ready now. I'm so ready now. Like, he's coming around. She's glad to see him coming around, and they sitting on the little dating bench that they sit on, a little settee, the little settee. They sitting there and getting closer and closer to each other. It's so cute, because they got the little hots for each other, And then finally, they try to hold hands and touch hands as they sit and talk right there, because the doors is open and you got all 500,000 people in the house, butlers and maids and people coming in, tea and all that nonsense. So they're like, you know what? How are we gonna ever be alone? You know what I mean? How is this gonna come to fruition? How are we gonna, do what we want to do? So, Lady Violet, and I hope I'm saying this right. Let me make sure I got this on my little notepad right here. I know it's Lady Violet. Yeah, she Mother Bridgerton. I'm gonna say Mother Bridgerton. So Mother Bridgerton, yeah, she schemes her way. But they told her, somebody else told her, I think it was the maid. Yeah, it was her maid. It was Lady Mother Bridgerton's maid who told her, because she told her, look, I need to get some time with this man, because the lady was like, honey, it's your time. It's been all these years. Your husband is gone, you know? And she's like, yeah, I know, but even if I wanted to, how am I going to make that happen? She said, leave it to me. Her maid said, leave it to me. Her maid said, leave it to me, because she was going to make the time. They was going to find a way so her and her boyfriend could be together alone. They was going to call it tea time, okay? They was going to call it tea time. So they knew of a day when Francesca, they were going to have Francesca give something and have everybody go to that thing that Francesca was going to give, thinking that the mother was going to be there also. but she wasn't. And then, so they was clearing the house out. They cleared the house out. So Mother Bridgerton, and I don't know his name. I don't know Lady Danbury's brother's name. But anyway, it was Lady Danbury's brother, the big fine man. So they could be. But he did not know. She just called him and told him come to tea. And that's what he was going to do because he wanted to spend time with her anyway. So he did that. But, honey, Mother Bridgerton was in that room in her little nightie, right? It was her little nightie, a little short set, like a little silk, little short set thing. It wasn't a short set; it was like an all-in-one kind of like a doll baby kind of piece. In her robe, because they had cleared the house. They had cleared the house out. Only thing needed to happen now was he needed to come. Okay, he needed to step in the door. So she was sitting there. He knocked on the door. She heard a knock on the door. Knock, knock, right? She heard a knock on the door. And then so she started like, well, am I going to sit like this? Because, she's scared. She hadn't had any intimate relations since her husband. And that was years, okay? Decades, I'm going to say. Decades. Because we've seen decades just watching this show go by. And he was not there except for the memory of him when they show how her husband passed with the bee sting. Okay. If you ain't seen Bridgerton, you better go watch it. If you ain't seen Bridgerton, you better go watch it. Okay. But we're on season 4 right now. Season 4, part 1. I binge watched it and I'm telling it all. Okay. I'm telling all that I know. I'm telling all that I know. So, honey, they got together. He came in that door. He seen her right there, and he was like, so and so, whoever her maid was, told me that tea was not going to be in the regular spot where we normally have tea at. And when he came in, he said that to her because he sees her there. He sees her there, honey. She got her little negligee thing, a little teddy bear negligee, like an all onesie piece, right, short set, and her robe over her, looking cute, and on her little chaise lounges at the end of her bed. And he said, like your maid told me that we was not having tea in the regular room, and she brought me up here. So he knocked on the door, and as he was coming in, she said, yeah, and she stood up, honey, and she said, yeah, because I'm the tea you're going to be having. Go ahead, girl. She came out with it, and then so that was cute. And unlike John and Francesca, okay, they got it in, they got it done, and we seen his backside. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now, I'm not a fan. I don't need to see all these backsides, but I'm saying they showing backsides. That's how I knew that Francesca and John had something was going on with them, because while he got his underwear still on, if they did something, they was going to show you the backside of that man. Okay? Anyway, so now we got that. You got what's going on with the Cinderella thing going on with the new girl that's in the story that's going to be somehow with Benedict, right? And then you got Penelope. We talked about Penelope. We talked about Eloise. We talked about Lady Danbury. And now we talked about Mother Bridgerton. Let me see. Let me think real quick. Am I done? Or do I need to go on with something? Well, let's go back to the Bridgerton guy, because there's a lot going on with him. The Bridgerton guy, because he's trying to find the girl that he does have stuck in his head, because, he was being like not wanting to, being relentless about, he didn't want no girlfriend, but now he's met somebody that he is interested, the lady with the glove, but she's got away and he can't find her. So, okay, he goes away after the mother tells him, finds that little, like I said, an insignia, something like that inside that glove that could tell them, because somebody has embossed it, right? And it was some kind of embossing, where you could tell, like, oh, that's the family, crest or something. But they couldn't find it. But they did link them to the house, and the house was where that stepmother and them 2 other girls was. So they had them come over, the stepmother and her daughters come over, and they interviewed him because he wanted to see if she was that girl that was in the mask. she wasn't the girl in the mask, and he knew because he could only thing he could remember about that girl in the mask. And he likes to draw, Benedict. That's what he doing over there in that brothel, drawing naked women, right? So he know how to, and he got good at it. He got good at drawing. So he is talking to the two the sisters of the stepmother, the daughters of the stepmother. He's talking to the daughters of the stepmother because they didn't summon them to come to the house because they didn't figure out when they looked in the glove where that glove, what household that glove came from. And honey, they glad to be there, right? They glad to be there and acting like they got stuff in common and all that other good stuff. And he's like, only thing he remembers seeing the mask, and from the mask being on that girl's face, only thing he could see really, besides her eyes, right? I'm trying to make it there, but was her lips. He could see her lips. So he had that imprinted in his mind. So he knew, I'm gonna know the girl when I see them lips. I'm gonna know who she is. So everybody who he looking at, he's like, you ain't her, you ain't her, you ain't her, you ain't her. Them ain't them lips. And the same thing happened with them. So when he didn't find them, he was like, you know what? I'm disgusted. He's disgusted. Okay. So I done kind of chopped up something real quick here because he does an interview with another woman who brings her daughter over who didn't go to the ball. Okay. And they thought that she just left the ball early, but she actually did not attend the ball at all. And he found out that later after interviewing this lady. But the maid girl, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. The maid girl at that time was in the house. She was in the house, okay, and in the Bridgerton home. And how did she get to the Bridgerton home? That's another story too, okay? That's another story too. But I think you need to just, when you watch it, because if you're watching this, if you've clicked on this, you have an interest in the Bridgerton because the title is there. It's the live review of Bridgerton season 4. And, the first part of season 4, this is that live review that I'm bringing back everything that I can recall. I don't have a script in front of me. I'm just going off of the story that I binge-watched last night because that's when it came on. If y'all hear that clapping, that's me just slapping my leg. No biggie, no buzz. So I think I covered it all. I'm trying to go through in my mind everybody's situation. And I believe I've told you the good stuff. I've told you the good enough stuff. Something we got to leave for you to see on your own. But what you do know is that there's a Cinderella story about to happen, okay? And that's happening with Benedict and the young lady that he meets, right? Then you know that Lady Danbury and the Queen is having that. Oh, I can say this too. I can give you another spoiler alert. Okay, so Lady Danbury, I told you she's scheming because she's trying to figure out, I'm trying to get a break. I'm trying to be out of here. I no longer want to be in society. She needs a break. And the Queen is like, no, you're going to be right here for me whenever I need you to play games with me and all. The Queen she didn't apologize to the Queen. The Queen's, that man, that's her best right-hand man, that went over there and told you need to go apologize to the Queen because, you can't be mad at her. She's the Queen overall, what I mean? And, the Queen got issues because of her husband and this, that, and the third. So the Queen is clenching on the Lady Danbury. And Lady Danbury's like, I got a life. I want to go, do my thing a little bit. Queen ain't having it. So what she's come up with is, if you can remember, there's another black couple that's in Bridgerton, okay, and they got all these children, and their son got knighted a duke or something. Anyway, they're the ones who had that bar. That's the black couple. They had the bar, and then he had to get rid of the bar because after his son came into all that money, and now they were, in society in a bigger way than they ever was. is that wife, the wife of that man. That's what, bottom line, what I'm trying to say. The wife of the black couple that was on the show. Okay, and he was a boxer also. He was the boxer also. He played a lot of roles, or did a lot of lines when the Duke, the season that the Duke was in kind of all the seasons, right? But when the Duke, that was the Duke's friend. He was the Duke's best friend. Let's just say that. He was one of the Duke's best friend. This black couple, they were the Duke's best friend when the Duke came to town. Lady Danbury's nephew, I believe. Anyway, Lady Danbury got his wife to come with her to go see the Queen. Okay? And when she got her before the Queen, she pretty much told the Queen that this could be your lady in waiting. Cause I'm not your lady in waiting no more. I got to go. You know what I mean? She done outgrew that position. That's what she said. I outgrew that position. I'm no longer a lady in waiting. Lady Danbury is telling the Queen. And the Queen said, I don't care. I ain't having it. You ain't going nowhere. I'm your queen. You my subject. But when she introduced this lady to her, so now the Queen got something to think on. Because the Queen still didn't say, you can go. The Queen said, okay. When she brought her to her, she was showing her, And so the lady, that man's husband, that man's wife, the black man's wife, okay, the man who's friends with the Duke, his wife, after she done brought her to the Queen and kind of like roped and doped her into it. Because she was like, you didn't ask me if I wanted to be the Queen's lady in waiting. Okay. And then Lady Danbury breaks it down to her how that position is really like the best position besides being queen, because you're her best friend, you're her confidant, you're her right-hand man. Y'all become friends. And she said, well, who said I want to be friends with the Queen? Friends with the Queen? She's not really a fan of it, but that's where it leaves us as well. So that's dangling. The Bridgerton and the girl is dangling. Part 2, you gonna definitely be waiting for part 2, okay? Because the Benedict Bridgerton and the girl, well, there's more that happens that I'm not gonna tell you. But Bridgerton and the girl, like where they're at. I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm gonna let you go on and watch it, let you go on and have a good time. But I thoroughly enjoyed season 4, part 1 of the Bridgertons and of Bridgerton, and I repeat, I cannot wait to see what's next on Bridgerton season 4, part 2. I'll be right there, and as soon as it comes out, God willing, I say the same, and I can watch it, I'll be right back here with my review. You have a good night. You have been watching the Esthering channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you who have came in, clicked on. You ain't stay and talk, but it is 11:30, almost 11:30 at night on a Friday night, and I know we all got things to do. At least you all got something else to do. For me, this is going to end my night, and I am going to, you'll never guess it, I'm going to watch the Bridgerton all over again. I said I was going to start at episode 2. I might just start back at episode 1. Nope, episode 2. I think I done seen 1 enough. I can start at episode 2. And the episodes are not that long either. That's what I was upset about. I'm like, I need an hour each episode, 45 minutes. They're not that long. I believe all those episodes are like 30-something minutes long, if that, which is an episode, right? Episodes are not supposed to last but so long, but I like it when I got long episodes. I like it when there's long episodes, especially when it's my show. So, yeah, go on, enjoy yourself, get ready. Do like I didn't do, and that was get the popcorn and enjoy yourself. It's beautiful. It's exciting. It's everything that you expect Bridgerton to bring to you, and it does just that. It continues to go on and let you get deeper and more intricate into the lives of the Bridgertons, which we all want. right? Because I can't wait now to see Kate and Anthony come back with the baby. We need to see that. I need to see Francesca get pregnant. We need to see that. We need to find out what's going to happen with Eloise, because I know some boy going to walk up in there and change her whole mind. Okay? But that hasn't happened yet. So we got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. Then we got the other kids still coming up, honey. They making a show. We're going to be Bridgerton. How old am I? I'm 63. I know for a fact we probably still be watching new seasons of Bridgerton when I am 65. That's 2 years from now. That's what I'm predicting. At least, I hope. At least, I hope. At least, I hope, Shonda. Let's try to keep it going. Let's try to keep it going. I'm going to think of some things that you can put in here, okay? Just in case you're like, I don't know how more further, but I know you do. I know you do, Shonda. I know you can stretch this to 2 more years. And it ain't even got to be a stretch. It'll be a beautiful, winding, growing and lightening. Because I just love how we mixing in all the different ethnicities, right? Am I saying it right? Ethnicities, right? Ethnic groups, how they're mixing, how we're finding love, how we're showing how we love each other, because one thing is for sure, what she's showing does exist. It's not an imagination. What she's showing does exist in this world we live in today. So get you some Bridgerton in your life. Season 4, part 1 is out. I've already seen it. I've already binged it. I'm about to watch it again tonight when I get off of here in a few minutes. And I done told you everything that I could bring back to memory all about it. And I hope you enjoy watching Bridgerton as much as I did. In the meantime, and in between time, I'm Adrian B. Jackson, ABJ, the Esthering Queen. So you know what I'm going to tell you? Be Esthering.